A warm welcome to all my listeners. Today I'm going to speak on the topic communication without words. Well, I know I'm contradicting my own topic because I can't convey my speech without words. And so I hope you forgive me for that so that I can continue speaking. A man was locked up in his apartment. And he was talking to the lock of his door very sweetly. Do you know why? Because conversation is the key. Okay, I know that was a lame joke, so let's continue. Now here's a major question that arises in everybody's mind. Why do we need non-verbal communication? Words seem to be doing their own job of conversation very well. Then why not keep using them? As it seems, we cannot communicate well without words. And after all, they've become a necessity nowadays. We feel handicapped without words. And is it even possible to communicate without words? Well, the answer is yes. Conversation or communication without words is definitely and completely possible without any loss of clarity in the communication, if done with the proper tools and techniques based on the situation. Personally, I love my sledgehammer. It shortens annoying conversations immensely. T.S. Eliot expresses the limitations of words in his poem. Words stain, crack, and sometimes break. Under the burden, under the tension, slip, slide, perish, decay with impression. Words sometimes mislead and hide the true intent. Interpretation of words are different for different people. We all must have experienced this at least once in a lifetime, that our words have been misunderstood by our loved ones, creating distress and sometimes even creating a permanent crack in our relationships. Because words are sharper than weapons. Experience and meaning of each word varies from person to person, and so it's hard to make out if a person is serious or sarcastic. Short forms of written communication such as SMS are thus frequently misunderstood. In face-to-face conversation, it has been suggested that 85% of the communication should be non-verbal, that is with the help of body language. A smile, a shrug, a frown, tone of voice, conveying much added meaning to the mere words. Therefore, most of the times we rely on pitch, tone, gestures, postures, facial expressions, or eye contact to convey what we want to. We receive a lot of information intentionally or unintentionally just by looking at whatever happens to us. Besides verbal form of communication, human beings use many behavioral patterns to make others understand messages more clearly than words can, because words have their own limitations. Conversation is an interactive communication between two or more people. The development of conversational skills and etiquette is an important part of socialization. Okay, now most of us will agree that verbal communication has some shortcomings. So the next question that arises in our curious mind is there any tool to communicate completely without words? So the answer is yes. There are a lot of ways that can help us communicate without words. I, personally being a dancer, would love to tell you that dance is the crescendo of non-verbal communication. Human beings have been expressing their complex and abstract feelings or emotions through non-verbal forms of communication. Dance is one of the greatest and special forms of non-verbal communication. In dance, human body is used as a medium or instrument which transforms itself from the realm of the moment to the realm of meaning. Dance is not only a tool of non-verbal communication, but also a tool of conveying a wide range of stories, emotions, feelings, etc., symbolically and didactically using head gestures, neck movements, chest movements, facial and eye movements, hand gestures, and postures. Another form of non-verbal communication is art. A picture is worth a million words. This sentence explains it all. Next is the action that speaks for themselves. If you love someone or if you care for someone, may it be a human being or an animal, your actions are enough to express your love and care towards them. Words are not even required. Brain-to-brain communication. Now this is possible for people who live together for long time of periods, or people whose wavelengths completely match. You might have enjoyed making eye movements, smirking, biting lips, and various other tricks to communicate with your close friends. You don't use words with them. A smile and a look is just enough for them to understand what you want to convey. What do you call two fat people having a conversation? A heavy discussion. Okay, now this was about making a perfect conversation. Now let's investigate a few cases where verbal conversation is not at all possible. We must use other alternatives to communicate in that case, since verbal mode is completely switched off in those extreme conditions. In the outer space, as we all know, there is no air and so sound cannot be used. We have to use visual aids there. Communicating over long distances, like from one hill to another. Your voice is not strong enough to cross the mountain ranges. There you can use flags or smoke. Dealing with the people that don't understand your language. Here, a smile and a firm assuring handshake can go a long way. If you have gone for scuba diving, you might be already aware that they first teach you hand signals and writing slates to communicate for survival, as sound cannot be used underwater. We humans rely very heavily on verbal communication. Nowadays, however, nature has a very rich set of tools to communicate. Animals use their urine to mark the territories. They make effective use of body language, roars, hisses, purrs, wagging tails in various ways to communicate. Trees use fragrances and colorful flowers to attract the insects and carry out pollination. They also give fruits as a reward to the animals that carry their seeds to different places where the new saplings can grow. Some plants prohibit eating their leaves by making them bitter in taste, while some grow thorns as they don't like being touched or harmed. A tree has no nose, no ear, no brain, no tongue, no eyes, but is still aware of the living beings around it and the senses that those beings possess. What a miracle! Everybody knows the wonderful girl called Helen Keller, who has so brilliantly triumphed over the triple afflictions of blindness, dumbness, and deafness, gave a talk with her own lips on happiness. And it will be remembered always as a piece of inspired teaching by those who heard it. She became the eyes of the blind, the ears of the deaf, and the speakers for the muted souls. She taught the world how to love everybody and be compassionate to others, overriding your own bodily limitations. So, my dear listeners, please remember this. Actions speak louder than words. So speak less and work more. Words take away the intent of your conversations, creating disrupt between humans and sometimes even nations. So stop speaking and start listening to your inner voice. You'll soon experience a feeling which is peaceful and nice. To conclude, conversation is just the exchange of words, while communication is the transformation of thoughts and words into a meaningful action. We should learn to communicate and not just converse with people. Use less words and more emotions, and you'll realize that the confusions and misunderstandings will all come to an end, making this world a better and peaceful place to live in. Thank you. If you like this video, then please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.